Okay, the very last step to your project is to color it in with colored pencil. I just want to review how to use colored pencil, how to blend colored pencil, and how to use colored pencil to really make your piece, like stand out. Here are some tips. If we are doing something like let's just really quickly shade a sphere with colored pencil. I know we've done this before, but I would like to do it again really quick just so you can see. I'm going to use different shades of blue. I have really nice colored pencils here at my house, so I'm using really nice colored pencils. I have a lot of different colored pencils. You have a little bit more of a limited supply. Okay, so again, I'm going to start. I want to get my shadows, make sure that you play. I'm not going to color it very dark because I just want to do the dark. I'm actually going to use physical colors to make it darker or lighter. So I'm going to take this darker blue. This is a very dark blue. And I'm just going to take it and I'm going to get in my shadow, my dark shadow. Then I'm going to take like a little bit lighter blue, and I'm going to do the medium tone. And remember, if you go back onto that darker color, it's going to make your lighter color look dark. If that made sense. So you're going to go back over the color that you already did. And then when you come and bring that other color out, it's going to lighten it up. It'll look a lot lighter than that darker spot. And remember, you can always make it darker. You can't make it lighter. That's the biggest trick. You want to make sure that you have all of your colors, kind of picked out and tested out. So this way, I did not test that out. So this way you have a little bit of a lighter thing happening when you want to do your highlight color. So this is like a little bit lighter. Okay, so now I'm just going to come back in. I want to make it nice and solid. So I want to push a little bit harder. I'm going to take my darker color. I want to push a little bit harder. Again, you can always make it darker or you can't make it lighter. What I never want to see in this project at all is, you see how this kind of has like this kind of washy, it's not totally solid looking color. I want your piece to be very solid looking. So I want you to go back over it and push as hard as you can. Colored pencil, you'll always see a little bit of white, but I want you to push as hard as you can so you get like a really nice, deep tone. And again, when you color over a color that you already colored, that's what's going to give it that sense of depth and that sense of tone. So you don't need to go crazy. I'm going to do that real light. There's my nice piece. Now, again, if you remember, when you like add a background, it's going to make it pop. So like if I do a different, like a contrasting, I have this peach here. So if I have a contrasting color in the back, it's going to make a nice background pop. Okay. Having said all of that, that's how you blend color. Again, if you want to take colors to blend into each other, the more you blend, the more interesting the whole piece is going to look. So if you have like a nice orange, then you can blend it in with a nice red. This is not a red. Let me grab a red. And I'm just going to blend it in. I can take this orange again and go back over it and kind of help it to blend together. And you're going to get a nice, transition. So that's what I want you to play with. My very strong suggestion to you is not to start coloring anything in until you tested out your colored pencils. I accidentally did that before with my piece. I was just real quick. I'm going to pull that out in a second. I was real quick coloring it, and I started coloring wood, and I colored it way too dark. I didn't test it out first. It's really important that you test out your colors. So your sketchbook needs to be at your side, and you need to have your colored pencils so that you can test out all your colors, get everything together so you know what you're doing. Okay, I'm now going to move on to my big piece. Solid, when I was talking about having your color solid, this is really solid, this nice piece. I did not finish coloring in all this blue because it takes a lot of time, but this is how solid I want it to look. I don't want any like washy white spots. So when you're coloring in, I think this is the right color. No, that's not the right one. This is the right one. When you're coloring in your colors, you want to go back in if there's little white spots and kind of get them to go away. So after you finish coloring in, you can go back in and touch it up. The more solid that your piece is, the better your grade's going to be. That's just the bottom line of it. Okay, having said all of that, and again, you can see in here, like I colored in black. I was going kind of quick so that I can get this done so I can show you what's going on. I'm going to go back in here when I'm all finished and just kind of get rid of all those little white spots. So you can see the big difference between this side and that side. See all those little white spots, and this one doesn't have it? That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for nice solid colors. Okay, this hand, I did two tones. I did a lighter tone and a darker tone. I'm not sure if you can see it, but when you color over, like sometimes you're going to color over your Sharpie, and that's okay, but your Sharpie is going to get light. So I just like to take it. It's going to take like a second or two. You have to go over it a couple times because that waxy coating on the colored pencil kind of makes it funky. But when you're all done, you're going to want to go back over those spots so you kind of get your dark black lines back, so you don't miss any of the details. Okay, I want to show you how to do wood grain, and I want to show you a couple of me coloring a little bit, and then you're on your own. This is the end of the project. It's going to take you a long time to color it if you do it correctly. This is going to take you, like, to color it this solid and to color a big space that solid, it's going to take you at least 10-15 minutes. There's no way around it. So you want to go quick. Okay, so you can see this. I did it way too light. Maybe way too dark. So you can't really see the wood grain. So I'm going to go back in. I have this nice color I'm going to do it with. I like to layer my browns to do wood grain. So I'm going to take like two light browns, and instead of coloring it in so all those holes are filled up, I'm going to color it in. So this is what I'm talking about not coloring it in nicely. This would be a bad job coloring. This is a good job coloring. But I want to color a little bit lightly on purpose so that we can layer. So I'm going to color lightly on purpose to get some of those white spots because I want to layer my color. So I'm going to take this one. Now I'm going to take a little bit lighter color. I'm going to test this out first, see if it works. Yeah. I'm going to take this guy, and I'm just going to kind of go back in. It's a little bit different brown. And I understand that you guys are, like, limited in color while you're there, but take your time and, like, you know, if you can find some different tones that you can layer over top of each other, the better it's going to look. Because, you know, wood is not one solid color. You can really, like, add in some other colors to it. I might even put a yellow on top of this because some wood has like a yellowy, like the table I'm on right now has a little bit of yellow. So I kind of want to play with that. So I'm just going to take one more color, and I'm going to just kind of, let me get a yellow. I like this yellow. Just a nice bright yellow, and I'm going to just kind of add in. I mean, the yellow doesn't make it look yellow, just makes it look like it has another kind of tone to it. It gives it a whole different piece. So if you're confused with how to do wood, I mean, you can always look up like different colors online. You can just look up like different wood tones. But again, I like the way that piece of wood looks. Now, I'm going to do actual wood grain. You can either get a really dark brown or a black. I'm going to try the really dark brown first and see how this works, but I might need to get a black. Yeah, no, I like that. That's okay. I can't see. There's a little bit of a glare. So I'm just going to go, no, I want the black. I lied. Okay, so I'm going to take black, and you can test that. I would test that out before you start on your actual piece. I'm going to take a black colored pencil, and I'm just going to make little squiggles. I'm literally just making squiggles in one direction. They do not always need to be attached, and if you want to do a little knot, you just kind of make a little curly cue, and that's going to be your little knot. And you can even like darken it in a little. This little bit of wood grain is going to make, and it's really, I'm not doing anything special. I'm just kind of making little squiggles. And that just makes it so much more interesting because it looks like an actual piece of wood floor. So if you can do that, little details like that, that's going to give you a leg up. Okay, so that's how you do wood grain. Now, I just want to fill in, I'm going to do a little bit of these planets. So again, these are spheres. So I'm going to take these and I'm going to do a little bit of like, I'm going to do some sphere action. So I'm going to get I think I want to do like a yellowy. I really like yellow. So I'm going to use yellow. I want this guy to be like a yellow. So I'm going to use my darker yellow. I'm going to get in there, make my shadow. Then I'm going to come back in with my brighter yellow. I'm going to hit it up. That should give me a real nice little shaded circle. I might want to come back in and just with the darker one and just kind of go over the whole thing because I want it to be a little bit darker. Cool. So I mean, that makes it look so much more interesting than if I were just coloring it in solid. And what did that take me? Like 1 second. It was very quick. Okay. Last thing is making sure that you're doing this, making sure that it's really solid, going over everything, and just being creative with it. Again, your end piece, you know, you want to, After you get all of your Sharpie done, after you erase all your pencil, you start to color it in, do not put it on the paper until you test it out. Make sure you test out your colors. Make sure you test out what you're going to be doing in terms of how you're going to like actually shade it and do different things. Please also make sure that you fill in any gaps. When you're done coloring everything in, you're going to go back over the little spots in Sharpie that maybe are dulled out by the colored pencil, and then you're done, essentially. So make sure this whole thing is nice and solid. You really play with your different colors and your textures. Make sure that you really play with your shading. You erase everything before you start, and that you get those black Sharpie marker pieces in. This will take you a couple of classes, so don't rush. Take your time. Make it the best that you can. Again, this is all about craftsmanship. The more time you take on it, the more time that you work on it, the harder that you work on it, the higher level that you push yourself at, the better it's going to be. So take your time, do the best you can, and I'll see you when I come back. Hopefully these are done and they look beautiful. If not, work as hard as you can, and I'll try to help you when I come back.